up?
Good.
Natalie,
Natalie, hi.
Hi,
hi.
how's it going?
Where are you?
In Big Bear, in a parking lot at the ski
Oh
resort.
my God.
Oh, wow.
Very
So
cool.
that's awesome. You look like you're about to go on a nice little adventure.
Yes, definitely. Very excited to go snowboarding.
How fun. How
You know,
fun.
I think that's one of the coolest things about working at B3 is that you can do your work anywhere in the world. As long as you have a good Wi-Fi connection, you are able to kind of get everything you need to do accomplished and still have fun and live your life.
Yes. And snowboard in between reports, right?
And I love.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Well, thank you guys so much. It's so good to see your faces again and to get back on and talk about, social. I mean, like, tell me what's going on. What's going on social, Myra?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Yeah, I'm Myra. I am CFO and COO co founder of B3 Media Solutions. And we're a social media monitoring and listening analytics reporting company. And what we do every day is we're on social, analyzing conversations, looking for trends. And so, what's trending today in the last 24 hours, we have hashtag Spider-Man No Way Home. That's the trending hashtag. The Los
Oh,
Angeles Lakers are trending because they apparently
why?
they beat the Mavs, so that's a big deal. Everybody's excited.
No, I'm from Dallas.
Well, now you live in LA, so you got to go with the Lakers. And then the top event is Comic Market, and I'm pretty sure that is intertwined with the Spider-Man movie. So that's what's
Exactly.
trending.
Very cool. Well,
Mhm.
I am Barika Bell, and I am also the co-founder. I'm very excited to be here and kind of talk to all of you guys again and get into some brand audits. And Natalie, what are you up to? Tell us about you, what you're into.
yeah, hey. So I'm the senior strategist here at B3 Solutions, focusing on marketing strategy and analytics strategy area. I'm to be a part of the B3 team.
Hey Natalie, I know you're in a really cool spot, but I think the Wi-Fi is kind of giving you a little challenge. Maybe try um you know taking off your video and see if we can hear you better
Yeah,
because we want to be able to hear
How's
all the
that?
wonderful things you have to say.
awesome.
All right.
Awesome. Thank
Well,
you.
today, guys, we're going to be jumping into brand audits. And I really wanted to invite Natalie because Natalie is kind of like a brand audit specialist on our team. And we feel that it's a good time right now to really talk about brand audits, what they are, what they do, and how they work and how they help brands. And so, Natalie, I love to hear from you more about brand audits and what they are and kind of like the importance of them.
Yeah, of course. So essentially, in a nutshell, a brand audit is essentially a checkup that helps evaluate your brand's position in the marketplace, what its strengths are, what its weaknesses are, essentially, most importantly, what's treatment. A little bit about like why it's important and critical for a lot of brands to do a brand audit includes really essentially help your business recognize its strengths and its weaknesses, but most important, some areas of opportunity for improvement, essentially new ways to help the business stay relevant and to continue to move forward and determine how to shape your image internally and externally as well amongst your vendors.
You know what, Natalie? I can hear every other word, and I know you had some pretty amazing things to say, but I think Big Bear is not letting you, you
it's
know,
not it's
well,
not letting you get it out.
I think Big Bear wants you to be on the snow. Like, it's not the Wi-Fi is not, we're having problems. So, anyways, I
Well,
mean,
we'll take it from there.
yeah,
We'll just kind of say what the synopsis of what she was saying is that A brand audit is really an in-depth analysis of the current state of an organization's brand. So it looks at, of course, the brand's strengths, their weaknesses, any inconsistencies and disconnects, as well as what you do as strength and opportunities the brand can have. And one of the different graphics that we have just showcases all of the different touch points a brand would have. So if you see from this image here, there's everything from a website to an email to signage to everything from online advertising, digital content, staff, customer service. There's so many different touch points that a brand can have when you're looking and analyzing in a brand audit. So, for today, the purposes of this particular live stream is we want to focus in on social media audits.
Yes.
And Myra, let me know if you have any other thoughts about that.
Um, well, I just wanted to add to, timing of audits. They can be done basically any time of the year, and they can be done for reasons of, like you're changing your business focus. You're finding your branding isn't consistent, or for example, you're losing social media engagement, or your numbers are dropping, your followers are dropping. So that's a good time to do an audit. But also, it's the time of the year, it's at the end of the year. If you didn't notice by my sweater here, I love this season. End of the year is the time we always think about doing audits. And because what we do is social listening and social reporting, we focus on all of the social channels and the information that you can get off, Facebook, Instagram, not only social channels, but, news, blogs, and forums, what consumer feedback you can get from those channels as well. And so some of the main key things that we look at in a social audit, we're trying to understand like what news sources are saying versus consumer perceptions. So that's one key component. We also do sentiment analysis. We try to identify trends in your industry. And we also do a competitive analysis. That's also very key in a social audit. And also, you're analyzing your metrics against your own past performance and your present efforts. So those are some of the components that we focus on.
I think also we can't forget that we also look at your audience. So, looking at audience data, like the demographics of your target audience, are you on target for who you are trying to reach, or are you not? Also, your content. How well is your content and your engagement? Is it resonating with your audience, or is it performing as well as expected? And then for some brands, we'll look at like even referral traffic. Is social channels driving traffic to your website or to the landing pages that you have? And then lastly, we always like to look at your publishing schedule, because your publishing schedule can have a very direct effect on how well your content is performing. So that kind of rounds out all of the different areas that we would look at when we're performing a social media audit for a client.
And I have to say that we've done so many for a variety of different clients and different industries, and it's all very unique to our client, very unique to the brand, and it's basically a customized type of an audit. It's like it's not a cookie cutter type of thing. There's not a template that you can
Yeah.
really follow.
I agree. There's no way that there's no way that every brand would have the exact same thing, because
Right.
different things are important to different brands. So making sure that we create bespoke audits for our clients is really important to us, because we want the information to be helpful and valuable and something that they can actually take and use for whatever they need to do in the future. So moving on to understanding more, Myra, like why do you think a brand or a business should even do a social media brand audit?
Well, like I mentioned, time of the year. But there are other reasons where you're noticing some website traffic dropped, emails aren't converting. It's just smart. And if you want to, if you're in the business of making money, I mean,
Yeah.
you want to know how you're performing. So that's all important stuff for brand audits. Also, I feel like the top brands, they stay on top because they change over time. That's due to their ability to understand consumer behaviors and react. So being able to do that is a combination of your market research and then social listening. Um, and sometimes what you'll find is you're doing fine. If you're doing fine, then don't try to fix what's not broken. So uh,
Exactly.
also that aspect. But even at a point where you want to change your logo, you just feel like things are kind of stale. That's a great time to do an audit and have a check-in. Basically, what are consumers saying, and what are your competitors up to?
I hate to cut you off, Myra, but we do have a question that Karen Carr Crawford asked. Can you
Okay.
explain a little bit about sentiment analysis?
Yeah, sure. Sentiment analysis. That's so we use how we get to sentiment analysis is we use social tools to help us kind of scrape through all of the conversations, whether it be on your own social channels, and then on not competitors, and then news blogs and forums. So we'll scrape all that information, and luckily, our tools help us with sentiment and they assign it positive, negative, neutral. But that's not always 100% accurate. We have to go through the data and check it. But then we'll bucket those conversations into themes, and then we can actually dive in and understand, what is driving positive. Is it, for example, is it a particular, if our client has a car that they just released, is it a particular feature of the car that everybody's really liking? And we dig into that and can pull out a lot of details around what people are enjoying, and then also pain points that customers are having with a particular brand. We can dig in and understand, is the issues happening at a particular location? Is it a particular service that they're offering that they're not getting responses? Is it like, of course, everybody has issues with customer service and wait
Yeah,
times, but like,
yeah, definitely.
yeah. So, is there anything else you can add to our sentiment
No,
analysis?
I think that that's perfect. I think that that is exactly the goal of sentiment analysis. Of course, conversation analysis takes a little bit further, but I don't want to get off topic because I really want to dig into like how we go about putting together like what are the ways that we actually are able to get the tools to actually do a social media audit. And a lot of the times when we are doing a social media audit, it typically will help us. The reason why we do it is to help the brands like either expand their audience, to learn more about their audience, to help them increase sales, obviously, and raise awareness of their brand. But I think the one of the main reasons is that strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, like I think that that is really key even in social, for a brand to really understand what's out there, what they do well, what they can improve upon, and areas of opportunities, because that's where they're really growing. That's where they're really getting that information that they can use to help them plan for the next year, which is why we recommend, usually every brand do a brand audit at the end of the year, so that they can, when they're planning for 2022 or for the next year, they have the insights and the knowledge to be able to create the plan of how they want to navigate on social.
And when you were bringing that up, Rika, I know we have some images to share that some pieces of our social media audit that we do put together, starting with the SWOT analysis. So if we can throw up some of our images and just share kind of some of the pieces that we pulled together, and this is usually a part of like a 30 slide analysis. So it's
A huge day, huge day.
takes a few people, and a lot of time and effort, because we really dig in there and really want to give our clients actionable insights on how they can improve, and where they are currently, and how they stack up against the competitors. So we can just kind of scroll through some of the slides that we put together. We always pull verbatims, and we can give them real actionable insights based on the analysis that we do. We usually do like 6 months to a year. A year is really a good time frame. But when we're working with a new client, sometimes we do 6 months. We'll dive into each channel and give you feedback on what's your best performing channel, the best time of day that you post, like your top performing content, and then we give you recommendations on how to increase engagement and really get to your goals, get to what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And also, we always do the channels.
Benchmarking. And the
You always
benchmarking, I think, is super important, only because like they need to, like, at the start of the year, you want to look at where you are and then where you've come. So this just kind of pulls into effect a snapshot of like their audience and where they are as far as engagements, number of posts. So where to take it for the next year. If you want to do better, if there's certain areas that you want to beef up and increase, especially when you look at that in conjunction with the competitors. Like, do you want to be like number one in terms of audience size? If that doesn't matter, what about engagement? What about sentiment? What about just number of share of voice online? So depending upon what a brand's KPIs are, that matters. We have some brands that want to be number one in sentiment. They want, of all the brands, they want to be talked about the best and the most. So we would make sure that we definitely understand the key performance indicators, which is the KPI of the brand. So that way, when we do a brand audit, we can show them these are the metrics that you want it to be graded against, and this is how well you performed in relation to that.
Yep.
Anyway, so I guess what I wanted to find out, and I wish Natalie was here, is like, what are some of the key use cases that you feel brands actually can do with an audit?
Well, I mean, with the example that we just shared, that particular client, they just had a lull in customers, and they wanted to do a whole rebranding process. So they not only sought out a social audit, but there were other pieces of this whole revamp of their brand. But that's one key reason to do it, a revamp of your brand. I think it was like logos, and just um, the whole space was, they were just trying to get feedback with their logos and all that. So that's one.
Yeah.
And then our the other one that we do annually, with our other client, it's focused on like influencers, how well they partnered, or how well their partners perform for them for the year, so they can determine whether or not they want to continue on with particular influencers, or if it's time to move on. And also, we take a peek at what the competitors were doing with their influencers. So you always have to keep your eye on the competitors. That keeps you one step ahead.
That's true. I mean, I think also, to your point, another area is just confirming your branding. Like, and it's a really simple, but it's definitely overlooked, because in the example that you showed, we saw how it was the other brand, like before we did the audit, how inconsistent they were with their bios, or inconsistent with the way that the naming conventions were. So
Mhm.
brand audits really do look at like your overall account to see if you are consistent and if it's accurate, if links actually work. We saw broken links for some of the
Right.
contact information.
Yes, that was a
So
good find.
that was definitely something that you tend to find in a brand audit. And
Right.
then another thing that I think that they're important for is just understanding your customer base. Customers change over time. You shift in and out of a brand and you get new people, so they may or may not, depending upon your targeting, your audience targeting, be the audience that you actually want. So you want to make sure that whoever you're attracting are the people that you're truly trying to market to. So I guess one of the things that I definitely wanted to bring up, Myra, is the checklist.
The checklist. How can you have a social audit without a checklist? It's impossible.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
So making sure that you have like just kind of like a checklist that you can use as you're going through the audit process, trying to understand, and some brands even do it with a spreadsheet. I think a spreadsheet or a Google sheet might be a very simple and easy way to kind of do a checklist of like, here are the things that I want to make sure that I include. And what make those things be, Myra?
Oh, I mean, we got to start with your competitors. I I think there's so much insight to be gained from the competitor analysis. So I recommend three, at least three, but up to six, not more than six because it can get too heavy.
Yeah.
Um, that, and then, like I said, sentiment needs to be a part of that. You also have to have your own benchmarks from your previous information, your previous scores. You got to have, I think, a key part also is identifying trends in your industry, and then the consumer perceptions is very, very key, your audience. Um, so those are just a few. But, we have a very detailed checklist, right,
Yeah.
Marika, that we can provide as a starting point. If you go to our website, you can go and fill out a form, and we will contact you, and we can provide a checklist to get you guys started.
Exactly. So definitely contact us if you want a free checklist where you can actually get an understanding of all of the different areas that you should be checking in your social media audit that you might want to use for the upcoming year to help you improve and help you create your 2022 social media strategy. Love to help out with that.
Yep, got so much. We have so much to help you with.
So I guess the last thing is that I think that this is important is that what do brands get out of doing a social media audit? Like what are the benefits? What are the things that you think are just the ROI of getting a brand or a social audit?
I mean, you're in the know. It's just the information. Information is priceless. It's knowledge is power. So it's a point where you can decide whether or not you want to move forward with something or halt. So it just arms you with the important information that you need to move your business forward.
Yeah. And two, I think that the ability to know whether or not, you're on the wrong social media platform, that's important because a lot of times brands say, I should be on every social media platform. But for some businesses, that's actually not true. Social media audit can help you see which platforms that you need to prioritize or deprioritize based on performance, or even if your audience may not be there, and making sure that you do an audit where you're listing all of your accounts, you're looking at your metrics, you're looking at what customers are saying and who the audiences are there. All of that helps you to kind of understand where you should be going forward. So I think that that also is a key component of why brands should be doing it. And then lastly, it's proof of social, because who doesn't want to be able to show their boss, look, We were on social. We did these really cool things. We had this many consumer engagements. We had these interactions on our communities. We jumped into conversations. We sparked a viral moment. Like those are things that I think that C-suite people would definitely want to know that their brand is taking part in and being a part of.
And while you were saying that, it reminded me of quite a few clients that we had worked with. They were working with us. We were providing them social listening reports, and it was like after a period of time, it was like they realized they needed more resources to help man all the conversations that were going on. So having this information to be able to provide back to them with the audit, they were able to bring in more people to their team and help them just kind of push forward their marketing strategies on social and just in the organization. So yeah, to your point, that's exactly what it does. It proves your job.
It proves your job. It definitely does. Not having those metrics, not having the proof, the social proof of what you are doing and working on, I definitely will slow down your progress on social. So, but everyone, that is our time. We are at 3:30. Thank you so much for joining us. I have had so much fun, Myra. I wish Natalie was still
I
here,
know.
but she's enjoying herself in Big Bear.
She's here in spirit.
She's here in spirit. We'll be keeping an eye on social. But like we said, please join us at b3mediasolutions.com. We'd love to have you. We'd love to start a conversation with you if you're interested. And we are also doing a free 30-minute consult. If you are an enterprise level brand, just go to our website and you can request that. And while we won't be back for the rest of 2021, we're going to kickstart our holiday season a little early. We will be back in the new year. And when we come back, we will be talking about 3 key ways that you can improve your 2022 social strategies. 3 key ways. And if you are not on that live stream, you will miss out on how you can really jumpstart what you're trying to do on social.
FOMO.
FOMO.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
Thanks,
Marika.
everyone. We'll see you guys in the new year. And please reach out if you have any questions or you want any information.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye.